So you can see the parts that desperately need a bit of attention. So these newspapers and whatever refused to come out when I was washing it the first time around. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to sand everything away. Then I can paint it with the base coat, and then I'll go buy the proper paint. Actually, I have to buy brushes as well, so I might as well just pick up the paint then. And then we shall paint, which is exciting. Thank you so much for whoever told me to use the undercoat and not the cover mat on my cabinets. Like, I literally have both of them here, and I was going to use a cover mat, but the undercoat is apparently more, it's oil based, so it's better for wooden things that you're painting. So yeah, I am excited that I still have a little bit of this here. Hopefully it is enough. Okay, so I'm not really sure where I thought the strength for sanding away this paper was going to come from. I tried, as you can see on that top shelf, literally on all the shelves, I really tried to like scrub it and like go ham at it, but then the paper is just not budging. It's like it's getting sanded into the wood kind of. So I went on Google and saw that if you apply heat to the paper, or even to this double-sided tape from when I was trying to stick an extension cable up there, if I apply heat to it, hopefully it will melt the glue on the back, like the backing, the part that's stuck on the shelf, and then hopefully it will come off, and then no need for sanding. So yeah, I'm gonna try that with this portable iron box that I have over here, and we shall see how that works. But I literally went through this entire sandpaper, and I don't know the grit, so maybe that's part of the problem. But yeah, it just was not budging. It's like they stuck it with the glue. At this point, I'm tempted to just paint over it, but I know it will bother me, so might as well try to get it right this time. Especially this part, like you cannot paint over that. So, and it's only on the bottom of the shelves, thank God, but then the bottom is what's visible, so it's just like a bit of a catch-22. Even on the side of the shelves, I tried to sand it away, and you can see like now it's sanded all the way down, but then it's not gone. But it's smooth, but it's not gone. So yeah, hopefully that won't give me an issue. I'm just going to deal with the bigger pieces now so that I can clean it and then have everything ready for painting. So just to explain what this process is, because I'm kind of seeing that it's working, you get some tissue paper and put it on the back of the sticky thing that you want to remove, and then you iron it, and then hopefully it will all just melt away. It kind of is working, like it's coming off a lot more than it was before, so I'm just going to keep applying the heat, hopefully melting it away, and fingers crossed it works. So it's actually working. I'm so excited because I'd actually been trying to remove these, and as you can see, it's actually not coming out at all, so I was a bit concerned that I might have to paint and like leave this here, but then once you apply the heat, everything melts away, which is great. So I'll still apply more heat to this, because as soon as you remove like the tissue paper and I'm scraping it to the fork, don't know if you can see that, yeah, so as soon as you remove the tissue paper, the heat starts to go away, so it becomes like harder and harder to remove. So I'm just going to keep applying heat and then scraping, and we will be good. And also I'm trying to apply heat over here, and it's kind of working, but it's kind of not, so I'm a bit torn on whether or not this side is working, but I'll just keep applying heat to everything, and hopefully we can get this cabinet clean. Okay, so this is where we are. What has worked and what hasn't. I had to get the bigger iron box just because I feel like this one wasn't getting quite as hot as I needed it to be, so this one worked perfectly. I did start off scraping it off with a fork, but then I ended up finding this scraper that the guys who did my wall left behind. I have let them know that they left it behind, but I guess it's just not worth coming back for. So yeah, I used the scraper to remove like the glue and the little sticky parts, and literally it gets cool within seconds. So as soon as I remove the iron box, I have to scrape it off, which is why I didn't record it. But so far so good. I think this is about as good as this bottom part is getting. I have sort of put the iron box on top of the newspaper and then scraped away as much as I could, so I feel like there is still going to be a little bit of newspaper left, but then as long as it's not like flapping open and I've tried scraping it off, I feel like I can just sand it a little and then paint over it, and hopefully everything will be good. So I have moved away the shelves that were here, so the fridge is now officially on the other side of this wall. I am going to clean everything up there and then paint the wall, paint the cabinets. I'm also going to paint the bottom ones actually, because initially I had planned to just only do the top, but then I realized since I want to paint the bottom ones navy, I might as well get the white undercoat done now while I'm here, while I'm cleaning, while I've moved the fridge away from the side thing so that I don't have to do it twice. Does that mean I need to go buy navy paint? Maybe. but for now this will do. The white is perfect. So this is a close-up of the cabinets right now. Everything is as smooth as it's gonna get because I spent quite a bit of time just scraping off that paper, not even using heat. So yeah, now all I need to do is remove this dust that is here. As I clean it, wash it down with soap so there's no like greasy anything to prevent the paint from sticking on, and then we can paint. So just to give you an idea of how dirty these cabinets are, even after I cleaned them before putting on my spices and whatever, yeah, this is why it's pretty important to wipe things down. Like everything that I've watched and read and every like tip on painting cabinets says wash them pretty thoroughly, and if you have like a degreaser, use that, but I just don't have the patience or time to go looking for one. And also all my scraping seems to have paid off because every last bit of paper from down here has been removed by the water, like whatever was left over, and that's pretty good. So I am pretty excited. More and more is coming down, which is great. So I'm optimistic that all of this paper will go and then I can paint on brand new, fresh, clean surfaces. So this is as clean as these cabinets are going to get. Big improvement from what they were before. I'm about to crack open this tub of paint that I have never ever opened. I think the last time it was opened is like 3 years ago, but I'm hearing some paint moving around in there, so hopefully it will be enough. Apparently I don't need to mix it to thin it, so I'm just going to be dipping directly into the can and spreading it out. Also, I was going to cover like this countertop and the tiles. Then I realized that I'm going to be replacing both anyway, sooner rather than later, so there's really no point in going through all that hassle. Might just cover up the socket so no liquid goes inside there. But yeah, let's begin. Okay, so couple of things that I have learned. As you can see, it is very dark. It is almost 10 p.m. now. I started painting at around maybe 6, maybe 7, I'm not even sure. Painting everything in one go was not my best idea. At some point, I literally got a stomachache because of all the fumes, which aren't actually strong. I'm literally like maybe 10 feet away from the cabinets and I can barely smell them, and they're dry to the touch, which is amazing. But yeah, inhaling all of that at a time when I can't just open the door freely, not the best idea, so I wouldn't suggest it. But I love that I have painted every inch of the cabinets that are exposed white. I haven't decided to like fully do the bottom drawers because at first I thought about just doing the side part so that I don't have to move the fridge again. Then I realized since I'm here and I'm already painting and my brush has fallen apart, so all the screws holding the bristles and the handle together like came apart, so I've been physically holding it as I'm brushing. Yeah, so I decided I just don't want to deal with that a second time, like psych myself up a second time. So since I was already in the base coat paint, I decided to just like get it over with, and I've painted the doors, both the inside and the outside. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep these doors or replace them, but for now this white base coat is perfect for the navy that's going to come on them at a later date. So when I'm painting the upper part and the wall, I think I will just add like one layer of white onto these cabinets just so they don't look quite so brush stroked and like, you know, just very not professional looking, just to like sort of finish it off. And I don't think I'll use that brush because they literally said the better quality brush is 150 and the cheap one is 100, and obviously that's not a very big difference. So neither of these are quality, and you can very clearly see the brush strokes that have been caused by this, but it is just the first coat, so don't really know how it works, but I think the second one should make it better. But I do have a roller, so I will be using the roller primarily for the second coat with like actual paint and not like base coat. So I'm hoping things work out a bit better. Also, it was a really good idea to buy this little brush. It has come in so handy, especially for like parts like this that need a little bit more attention, or even like the corners over there. So I will just wash my brushes today. Washing them in water and in the sink should do just fine. Yeah, I am excited. I like that this is progress. I'm kind of seeing, like I'm kind of getting the vision coming to life. I just did not want to buy navy paint, which is why the bottom cabinets are not being done yet, but eventually we will get to that. I'm thinking let me just have everything be white so the kitchen is like light and bright, you know? So yeah, I will check in when I come back for another coat. It is the next day. Everything is dry to the touch. I have a new roller, new brushes, because I realized the oil paint refused to wash off of the old brushes, so I just have them wrapped in this. I have tissue close by for any droplets that may come about so that I can wipe them off before they stain anything too badly. I have added nails because for this other brush as I was using it, these two parts separated and I just don't want that to happen again, so I couldn't find small nails to like fit perfectly, but I just hammered these ones all the way in but not all the way through, so hopefully it holds. And yeah, I think I am ready to begin on the walls and then drag it over, so let us start. Okay, so I've reduced the brightness so that you can get a better look at the wall. You are on the tripod because my hands are literally covered in paint, because opening a paint can is actually a struggle. Like, who knew? But I've tried to eyeball it because when I bought it in the shop, the guy said to mix no more than 10%. On the container itself, it's saying no more than 15%. I've tried to eyeball it to what I thought was 5%, but even then I'm finding like it's thinned it out a bit too much. So I feel like I'm gonna use this paint without actually mixing it at all, because I kind of like the consistency when I was pouring it out, but now with the water, let me just show you a close-up. I'm seeing like actual water pockets on the wall, and I know that's probably because I didn't mix it in well enough, but at the same time, don't really like this. I mean, the coverage is good, and I had tried wiping away the dirt that's on the wall, or scrubbing it away like with my dish soap and the dish scrubbing thing, and it just completely refused to come out. That's why I'm just painting right over it. I know that I could sand the wall to like avoid the bumps from the dirt, but then like who can be bothered, you know? So I feel like later on, if I'm so inclined, I'll sand it and then paint it on top like again. But for now, I literally just want the white color. And yeah, also this paint doesn't have a smell. The oil-based undercoat is what has been quite intense even throughout the day today, because I did paint this last night at midnight. So all through the day today, the whole house has kind of been smelling a little bit painty, but this one I've literally just opened it up and I cannot smell anything. So that is pretty cool. So because I'm definitely gonna use a lot more than this paint, I think I'm just gonna mix in a bit more to like reduce the water thinning effect, and then moving forward, I don't think I'll be thinning it. Again, the brightness is reduced just so that you can actually see what I am seeing. I know that wasn't the ideal technique for painting a wall because my strokes are in every direction, but I am going to be going over it with a roller. And what I learned from yesterday's painting is that the first place that your brush touches gets like the most concentration of pigment. So I was literally just trying to spread it out everywhere, but I do think the opacity is pretty good without mixing it with water. So yeah, moving forward, I'm not going to be mixing the rest of it with water. I'm just gonna get up on my little stool thing, cut in the ceiling, and then go over everything with my roller. Obviously, the place that has the undercoat is already looking perfect, so I'm just gonna go over it with the roller once, but then this part is definitely gonna get a second coat, which is why the brush strokes don't actually bother me. Also, the socket is going to be changed, so I don't actually mind if I paint over it a little bit. It's fine. Little bit of paint spatter on the ground, but I am kind of working towards not letting that happen, kind of feeling like maybe I should get a tarp, but then at the same time, like not a tarp, but like a garbage bag and just open it up so that I don't have to clean up. Might make my life easier. I think I'll even tape off the baseboards. But yeah, progress. Progress is being made. So I thought it would be really easy to just clean up whatever splatters happened on the floor. Then I had a delivery at the gate, so I had to like rush outside to pick it, and by the time I got around to cleaning these, some of it had already dried and water doesn't seem to be getting it out, so I will be scrubbing this a little bit later. But now I actually do have a garbage bag with a sellotape that I'm going to tape up. Preparation is winning. So if this video teaches you nothing else, definitely 100% invest in your tools, because I just tried to use a roller and I don't know if you can see the little splashes of paint that it got all over me. I don't know if it's because I didn't fully coat it in the paint, but then I wanted to test it out with just a little bit of paint to see how well it like gets it on, and I did not like the result. So this I think it was about 250 shillings. Yeah, this is horrible. This is definitely not good. I might try to just like fully coat it and go like a little bit lower down here, but then like all the way up there, I just wanted to get it over and done with. So at least my cutting in is done. So I'll let this layer dry, and then I'll get like a proper quality roller from Builders probably tomorrow, and then I'll be able to just roll the rest of it. So yeah, instead of having to paint the whole wall with a hand brush, because that 4-inch brush is not the easiest thing to use like on a giant surface. It's not very efficient, but I'm hoping that a quality roller will make things easier, because this is just, it's literally, it doesn't even have much paint on it, and it's splashed even more on my hand. So I don't want paint to like splash everywhere in this room, so that's kind of disappointing. Okay, so pros and cons of the really cheap roller. Pro, I mean, it is covering a bigger surface area and it is erasing the brush strokes. Well, you can't really see them anymore because they have been erased, right? Cons is the splashing, because you have to go really slowly, because I keep forgetting and like going fast and splashing myself. And then it was leaving little bubbles on the paint, but then I'm noticing that once I just leave it alone and let it dry, the bubbles disappear, and it's getting quite sheer in the places where it doesn't like have enough paint, which makes sense, but with a brush it's easier to just like notice it and easily correct it, versus with the roller I go over it a couple of times and feel like it's dripping sort of. I'm not really enjoying this roller, so I do want to try something a little bit more expensive. Hopefully that works, but this wall is coming along and I am not mad. So I think I'll actually try the roller on the bottom cabinets and see how that goes, because I feel like I can go slowly on those ones and not be feeling impatient and rushed. And then for the wall, I'll probably just use the brush to get it over with. So this is a difference that the roller is making. As you can see, it is a much smoother application. This is still just a first coat from yesterday, so you can very clearly see the brush strokes. But on the roller side, everywhere except around the door handle. Also, I'm painting them because I'm going to change them, so I don't really care about these ones. But yeah, you can see it's so much smoother, so much better. Like it's coming along, you know. And because these bottom ones will be navy, I'm not going to paint them any more than I am today. The wall will probably get a second coat, but beyond that I think I'm good. It's the top one that I'm really gonna concentrate and like get perfect, which is why I haven't started on it yet, just because I really want to be like fully in the zone and like dedicated when I'm doing it, because I'm also going to be painting the wall. But these bottom cabinets are coming together. Pretty happy. So I wanted to show you this clean container to sort of explain why I'm happy sacrificing. Well, initially I was very happy sacrificing one of my containers in order to get a painting container basically, but then I realized that the paint actually peels all the way off. So this isn't the oil-based one, this is the silk vinyl emulsion one, and it just completely like peeled away. I'm sure I could have probably also washed it because it is water-based, but just wanted to show you, if you are using a container for this, very easy to transition between colors. This is a silk vinyl emulsion one, and you can see I've used about 1/3 of the tub, and I'll show you the surface that it's covered because it's gone such a long way for just 1/3 of this container. So pretty happy with this. Definitely think it's worth investing in. 20 liters I was told is about 11,000 shillings, and I'm not trying to spend that all in one go. So I think if you buy like small, like 4 liters is what I'd advise, because 1 liter is like 800 shillings, and by the time you've bought 2 of them, you've almost bought 4. So you might as well just buy 4 and then make use of it that way. So yeah, this is open because I'm just going to do another round of painting. And I was thinking about using the cover mat as a top coat, but then I've just read the instructions. They make it very clear that this isn't a washable surface type of paint. So I know it would be very opaque, but then since it is on cabinets that will be used to store food stuff, I want the option of washing it instead of having to repaint it every time something spills, right? So I don't think I'll be using the cover mat on my shelves. I think I'm just gonna leave them here because I don't want to cake them with too much paint as well. So what I need now is a roller to get rid of these brush strokes, because I don't know if you can tell. Let me reduce the brightness so you can actually see. The brush strokes are so much more visible on the wood than they are on the wall. On the wall, it's actually almost like from a distance you can't really see them. Even on the cabinets from a distance you can't really see them, but on the cabinets it's much more visible, and it's because I'm using very cheap brushes. So I do need to go and like stock up on rollers and proper soft brushes and whatever, and all of that. Searching online, I've only seen them being advertised as sold at builders, and I'm not planning to go all the way to Karen from where I am, because it literally today took me an hour and a half just to drive from this Mombasa Road area to Capital Center. So I'm not really trying to deal with Mombasa Road right now, so I think I'll just leave the cabinets here for now. So for now, I think I can just live with it because from a distance it does look good, so I'm not mad at it. Now, to show you this other area of the house that I've been painting. So I don't know if you can tell that I've painted this section of the wall. I had a little bit of paint left in the container, and I didn't want it to just like sit there and dry out, so I decided to get started on this section, and I have extended it a little bit to this side, but then again not really, because this wall isn't my focus. So this was just like a like a side project. And obviously this section does need a second coat, but then when I'm sitting at the couch, my focus is on this part of the wall going into the kitchen, and I love that it's matching. So I will be continuing at least the visible part, and then the top part can get done a little bit later. So yeah, that third of the container has painted this section here one coat. It's painted this section, so I've done 2 coats on the bottom half of the wall, except for right here where I do need to add another coat. I was focusing mostly on where the fridge is going to go back to, because I do want to move that back into the kitchen, so I'm trying to get that area a bit more perfect. Yeah, and up there it's 1 coat, so I'm going to go in and add a second coat. And I did start to sort of extend it to this side, but then I couldn't like lean over enough to like go any further, and I didn't want to fall off my little stool. But yeah, the top half needs a second coat of paint. I'll reduce the brightness so you can actually see the difference between how opaque this white is. And up there you can see where the skimming had been done is definitely looking finished, just because that did have the cover matte white as a base coat. But then the rest of it is just 1 coat done with a brush by hand, because the roller is just not working out for me. I'll have to also get a better quality one at Builders. So yeah, instead of waiting until I actually have a chance to go to Builders, I think I'll just complete what I've started, because I have gone all the way around here up to this wall. Again, this is what I see when I sit on the couch, so I'm really happy that it's all looking like seamless and like one thing, you know. So yeah, this, as well as like 2 or 3 coats on the cabinet, though the first coat was the undercoat, so I'm not gonna give the silk vinyl credit for that. But then 2 coats on the cabinets, 2 coats on the bottom as well. I feel like that paint has definitely gone a really long way, especially because I've painted both the outside and the inside. I don't know if you can tell, but the brush strokes are very, very, very prominent on the cabinets. These ones on the inside only have 1 coat, so you can clearly see the difference between 1 coat and 2 coats of paint. And even then the outside isn't like super flawless perfect, because they are going to be navy, so I just wanted to have a good white strong base undercoat. So I'm pretty happy with it so far, pretty impressed so far. So this is kind of what I see when I'm like close to the couch area, and I like that everything is turning up white to the point where you can't even really notice the tiles are not exactly what I want. So every time I glance this side, now I'm thinking of what tiles I want to replace those with. So this is the final result, and for now I am done. I am pretty happy with the way this has turned out. I won't show you this other half of the kitchen just because it is nowhere near done. I haven't painted it, I haven't arranged it, it's just a hot mess. But for now, this side with the wall and the cabinets, perfect right until here. So you can see here, as we continue, it is still yellow. The ceiling still needs to be washed, so it is a work in progress, but at least this section is done, so I can start arranging things, as you can see. And I've brought the microwave and this little wicker basket into the kitchen just to warm up the space, because I felt like with the stock white it was looking a little bit clinically white. But you can see the brush strokes are not completely gone. I still do need to get the roller, but with everything inside it, you barely even notice it. Even when standing in the kitchen, your eye isn't immediately drawn to the brush strokes. So I'm pretty okay with that until I can like stock up on rollers and then take everything down, do a really quick coat, because the paint has been drying within like an hour. It's dry to the touch, although when I started putting the things on, and that was after almost 12 hours of waiting, when you lift them, they kind of sort of stick, but they don't come up with any paint. So it does take a bit of time for it to dry perfectly, but I'm really happy with the result. I even thought about painting this because I'm not the biggest fan of its current color, but then if I paint it, I want to like go full out and like get the proper marbling done and like do it to the roller. So that is definitely coming, maybe at some point, because I'm still thinking about tiling it as I tile the backsplash. I don't know. So yeah, just really happy with the white cabinets for now as I work towards getting them navy. So cannot wait to show you that, but then I won't have to take apart my entire kitchen to make that happen. I'm just going to move the fridge back here and then arrange things as a sort of makeshift pantry in this area, and then the final result will be there. Also, yeah, I haven't actually done like the baseboard parts just because I don't want to tape anything up, I don't want to cut anything, so the parts that aren't going to be showing are not going to be 100% perfect, but I can live with that. So I'm good. So it's so bright and beautiful and sunny in the kitchen, and I feel like this is a perfect chance to show you the progress that was made. So I'm not going to pan beyond this because, as you can see, I have continued painting it white, and I cannot wait to show you that next week. But this is the final white result of the kitchen now. So as you can see, even from this short distance, when I'm standing here, I can't actually see the brush strokes on the cabinet, on the shelves thing. So I'm pretty happy with that, though I am still planning to buy a roll. I just have not gotten around to doing that. But when I compare the brush work that I've done on the walls, like when you see it up close and personal, to these other walls, like the yellow and the orange and whatever, it actually looks exactly the same. Like you can still see the exact same number of like brush strokes and just little bits of imperfection. So even if I had had a professional to do it, I don't think it would have turned out any better than this. So I've just changed the white balance so you can actually get a clear view of the white without it looking too cold because the sun is ridiculously bright. But yeah, this is my kitchen so far, and I am so happy with it. So clearly that needs a second coat, but for the kitchen itself, I am pretty happy. Yeah, I'm just gonna end the video here because then I'll just keep telling you how pretty happy I am with it. But yeah, sneak peek, we are continuing over to that side, and there is like a bit of a design on that side. That's why I don't want to like sneak peek it too much. Also, this is my electrical box. I have just gone over it a little bit with some white paint, not really like fully coating it, but I will be going over that again, just because when I'm sitting in the sitting room, it's not so much an eyesore because it is within my line of sight, but then it's not like looking horrible, you know, it just blends into the wall. But yeah, this is the result so far, and it's progress, you know, so I'll take it. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Be sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you in my next video.